We are on day 2 of mixing, where yesterday so far we've basically leveled things up. We haven't used any EQ or any compression. So today we're gonna do a little bit of vocal tuning. So basically we're just gonna tune the pitch of the vocals in certain areas where it's not really hitting the notes right. It's kind of like an auto tune but doing it manually. So manual tune. For lack of better words. So this is my lunch and let's get right into it. What did you think I meant? Mixing? Are you serious with it? Let's get right into it. Now let's get right into the vocal pitch tuning part. So that concludes the pitch fixing part of the vocals. Now we'll get right into equalizing, and then we'll go towards any other effects that follows, either compression or maybe a little bit of slight distortions to like really push out the vocals, and then we'll go forward to automating. Maybe we'll do a little bit of automation to kind of make the mix a little bit more livelier. Let's get into it. First, let's do a little bit of EQing on the guitar instruments, and then maybe we'll go towards the orchestral instruments or the strings, and then we'll go towards the drums. Let's EQ them, and then we'll do a little bit of bass. We'll do the vocals last. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna completely lower the vocals down to 0, so that we don't have to think about the vocals in the meantime, and we'll just be working purely on the instrumental track. And then once we've kind of put everything in their place, we'll revisit the vocals, and then we'll make space for the vocals in the instrumental track. That is the song minus the vocals. Let's listen to the guitars and remove the vocals for now. Listen to the guitar in solo. This is a strumming rhythm instrument, and what I want to do is, okay, let's go back to the first guitar. Going back to the first guitar. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a metronome sound going through the guitar. The one reason why that happens is because my headphones, you see, are open back headphones. What this means is that it allows the sound to go this way also outside my ear. It's not a noise cancellation headphones. It's an open back headphone. What it does, it allows the outside air to be equalizing the pressure of the inside the cups and outside the cups. So that gives me a more flatter response. So one of the reasons why I got these headphones. And the side effect of that is when I'm recording, the sound from here goes, especially if I'm recording with my microphone, the sound from the headphone bleeds into the microphone, and then it comes along with the instrument. So listen closely. It's like kind of sound, oh yeah. Boop. So now let's get right into EQing the guitar. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the stock EQ that comes. Now, one thing about EQ is I don't like using the presets, because see, there are no guitar presets here as far as I can tell. Other than this one, this is for the genty boys. Now let's get right into it and really cut out the lower end, because we don't need that. So what we're gonna do like a high pass or low cut. we want to cut it to a point it doesn't feel too thin, because like you don't want the guitar to be too thin. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like it does. It feels like it doesn't have life. Okay, let's bring out this low mids. We'll bring out the low mids a little bit, like say maybe 2 decibels, maybe less, and then we'll cut some more of the bass. Let's hear it along together with the bass. You know, there's a pluck instrument. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to see the frequency in which that instrument is most active. We're going to slightly boost it up, and we're going to cut a little bit from the guitar. That's kind of like, see, imagine, let's say there are, how do I show this to you? Okay, I'll just bring up, I'll just show it here. Let's say the pluck instrument is active around 2900. This is 2900. Then I'll boost it up. Let's say this is EQ for that instrument. I'll boost it up slightly, maybe like a 2 decibel or 1.5 decibels. And then in the guitar, I'll bring the same frequency down. So there's kind of like creating a surgical opening to fit that puzzle piece or the sound. It's sounds, even though sound is a completely different perception of ours, it's amazing to be able to visualize it and kind of make sense. I mean, we hear sound in 2D, but imagine what audio sounds in 3D. There are a few ways that you can mix a track, either aggressive or being gentle. Being gentle works for some parts or some songs or some genres, and being really aggressive works for some other genres. Aggressive mixing works for genres where it's an aggressive music basically, right? You want to be in the kind of music that's kind of meant to be on your face kind of music. So this is not too much of that, but we can really bring out some instruments and drums. One thing I'm making a mistake here is that I'm boosting now. So don't boost in the first EQ. That's a very important thing to note. I keep making that mistake, and sometimes I do it out of laziness to EQ over and over again. But one reason you don't want to boost initially is because you're going to be compressing. You want to just cut first. So if you cut the frequencies ahead before you compress, it doesn't really come out too much after compression. So keep that in mind and always cut first. So no more cutting, no more boosting, only cutting for now. Welcome back. So what we're doing right now is adjusting the kick and the bass. So kind of making place for each other. So what I'm doing here is I bumped up 159 Hertz and then the sub area of the bass to kind of give it more body in the kick. So let's listen to how it sounds without and with it. There's more pump in this area. Let's raise it a bit, even a little bit, just a little bit more. Right, so let's play bass. So the next thing that we're going to do right now is going to be doing a little bit of side chaining. So if we can revisit episode 1. In episode 1, I talked about what side chaining does and talking about 808. So now we have one bass here that is not an 808 bass, and this is the versus bass, this one. Let's play that again, just alone in itself now. This is the one I'm talking about. So basically, we couldn't set like slower attack here. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be now. Let's get right into it and see it from the screen. If you can see this is the boo bass. This is the instrument. So every time the kick comes in, we want the bass to be slightly lowered. So what I've done here is I've added the FL limiter, fruity limiter, and I'm going to just click the sidechain to 1. Then we're going to bring down the threshold, how much we want it to duck. You can see this is the ducking action that's happening. Let's put the knee around 83. Ratio it around, let's try 4. Quick attack, quick release maybe. Let's listen it together. Now let's listen without it. With it. The next thing that we're going to be doing is the vocals. So now that we've kind of worked with the track, now let's make a space for the vocals and edit the vocals in such a way that it fits in the mix. Now I've pretty much leveled the volumes here. So we're going to be doing a little bit of EQing, and maybe we'll use a little bit of compression where necessary, limiting. Yeah, pretty much it. And a little bit of, maybe if we're going to give it a little bit more drive to kind of saturate it, maybe we'll do that. We'll see how it goes. Let's get into it. We've been getting into it a lot, I've noticed. Now, if you notice this first vocals, it's panned hard left and right, but it's the same part. So we're going to be mixing directly in the verse vocal bus. First, let's get into our EQ. Now we're going to have to do a little bit of limiting. But before that, I think a mild compression wouldn't hurt us. Let's try that. Oops. Okay. Few days been finding for true. I think I will pull through. Now we're using limiter here to even out the stereo recordings, like when we're hard panning the instrument left and right, the repetition of the instruments left and right. The reason why I use limiter is to get a more even sounding volume, even when even if there are like discrepancies in the loudness between the two tracks. Now the reason why I'm turning down the L2 limiter is so I want to let some of the unprocessed signal also pass through, so it still has a little bit of life there without it being overly clipped. I mean not clipped, limited. So we want the transients to fall out. Now the reason I did that is because I want there to be half amount of limited sound and half of the unprocessed sound going through. felt so free, swimming in the open sea. Live like it's the last today, but I got more on my way. And I would like to think that this is the end of mixing. And in this episode, this is where we declare our work done. And in the next episode, that will be the grand finale. We're going to be doing the final episode 2 weeks from now, because we want to finish the product. And I'm thinking I'm going to do something for the video. But if I don't do anything fancy for the video, it'll be up next week. If not, the following week. So with all that said, I want to thank you for following me till this episode. And in the final episode, I'm hoping to get more crowd in, because, well, these episodes have been for you, specifically you musicians, and anybody curious about the process that goes into the music making. So I want to thank you for following this series, Instagram Makes Music series, making music with you. Wait, that's the other way around. Making music with you, Instagram Makes Music series. Thank you for your votes again in the video, and check this playlist here for, well, my suggestion or the playlist, and hit here to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching again.